Hey everyone, this is Jeff, and we're back with episode 5 in our tutorial series. Today we're going to do Couchpotato. So we've already gone through Sickbeard. You see how Sickbeard functions with respect to TV shows. Couchpotato does effectively the same thing for movies. You put in the name of the movie you're interested in, it searches, comes back with a list. You make sure it's the right movie, add it. You then specify in the configuration of Couchpotato the quality and or size settings that you want. It'll find the movie, pass it off to SAB for download, and then post-process the same way that Sickbeard does for TV shows. Another kind of cool feature from Couchpotato is if you create an Imdb Watchlist and make that public, and I'm going to show you how to do all that in this video, you can then just add movies to your watch list in IMDb, and Couchpotato will consume that list and then go look for those movies. It'll add them to its wanted list. So even if you put in a movie that may not be available on Usenet right now, Couchpotato will consistently go look for it. When it is available, it'll grab it in the quality you want, and it'll show up in XBMC. Okay, enough foolishness. Let's go ahead and actually start looking at this. So, downloaded Couchpotato. It's a zip file. Unzipped it. It's its own directory here. I'm actually going to rename this directory just so that it says Couchpotato. And just like we did with Sickbeard, we're going to drag and drop that into the program files tree. So here we go. Drag and drop. Move. And now we'll have a Couchpotato directory. And then I'm just going to run Couchpotato. Now, I've already run this once on this machine to double check it. When you do this, the only file you'll see is Couchpotato. The rest of these get configured the first time you execute. So if I just double click on Couchpotato, it will run, and then it should launch my browser. So let me go ahead and get the Windows firewall and allow it. And then here we are in Couchpotato itself. So we'll go into change settings, because right now we're running on localhost 5000, and we want to actually make that, just for ease, we're going to make that 8082. Remember, Sickbeard is running on 8081, and we've got SAB running on 8080. Now, you can keep Couchpotato on 5000 if you want, but for me it just makes sense to have them incrementally be the next port. So we'll go ahead and go in and start playing around with this stuff. And something I didn't mention in the previous videos and I thought would be useful to talk about. As I said, all of these programs are open source software. SAB, Sickbeard, Couchpotato, even headphones. However, they do all accept donations, and it is generally encouraged that if you like the software and you're using it, that you go ahead and donate to them and help them continue to improve it. So, let's look at the General tab. Here's where we're going to change the port. So, 8082 is what we want to run it on. And again, the launch browser at the moment, because we're configuring, we want to keep that so that every time we run Couchpotato, it actually loads the browser for us. Eventually, when we get all finished here and you drag SAB, Sickbeard, and Couchpotato into your startup group, so every time you run the machine, they run in the background, you're going to turn this off on all of the programs. And this is set to search every 24 hours. You can control how how often you want this looking for movies. It's entirely up to you. For the video here, I'm going to actually leave it and just click force every time I want to test something with you. And then ignore preferred and required. There's additional details available in the Couchpotato forums about this stuff, but basically, if you want to never get a movie that has the word German in it, you can put that in here. Well, sorry, that would be words that you never see in the ignored field. Preferred words, so things you always want DTS, or you always want Dolby Digital or something, you'd put that in there, you'd see it. If it was available, you'd get it. And then required, the same level here, but the match would have to exist in order for Couchpotato to download the movie. I think these probably make sense to most of you, even if that wasn't the greatest explanation in the world. So I'm going to hit save, and then because I've changed the port, I want to actually shut down Couchpotato and then restart it. So I'm going to actually do a shutdown here so it just closes, and then I'm going to double click it in that directory we were in so that it comes back on port 8082. So let me get rid of this, and we'll go over here, and we'll just run it again. And we should get 8082. That's what we wanted. All right, back into the configuration. There's nothing else on the General tab that I think we needed to play with, so we'll look at downloaders. Yes, we're going to do NZBs. We are going to use SAB, and we are going to use 8080. That's where we have it installed. We need to grab the API key. So we'll jump over to SAB, over to Config and General. Grab the API key again, just like we did with Sickbeard. And we'll post it here. If you've added username and password in your SAB setup, you're going to want to enter those here, obviously. And then category. And if you'll recall, we actually set up in SAB a category called Movies, and that actually goes to a Movies subfolder under Complete. Remember all of that from the SAB video. So we're going to tell Couchpotato to use the category Movies. And then retention. Now this is interesting. Whatever retention your Usenet provider gives you, you need to provide here to Couchpotato so it knows to go ahead and look that far back when it does a search. So we're going to say 1200 because that's what the provider we're using provides. And then we'll save those settings. I'll go back into downloaders for a second. If you wish, you can use Couchpotato to, like say you have uTorrent installed and you wanted to torrent a file instead of using Usenet. You can do that with a black hole directory. You just provide the directory and it will drop the .torrent file that it finds in that directory. You would set uTorrent up to look in that same directory and consume those files. Again, just like the Sickbeard warning, you're better off using this for NZBs and for Usenet downloading. Torrents are less reliable. Okay, providers. Now, this, you'll notice, basically what this is looking at is indexers. There are a bunch of different options here. We're going to use NZB Matrix, but I'm going to put my data in off camera. I am going to select English only because for me, I really only want English only NZBs. Clearly, that's a choice for you. If you don't like it, you don't have to do that. We'll save that setting. Now we'll go to quality. Okay, there are default profiles provided by Couchpotato. Right here they are: 1080p, 720, a Blu-ray rip, DVD-R, etc. And there are some that I personally don't want, so I'm going to turn off. You can do the same. Also, you can control the sizes of files that qualify. So for example, a 1080p movie could be anywhere from, this is 5 gigs to 20 gigs, right? 5,000 megabytes, 20,000 megabytes. 720p's can be from 3.5 to 10 gigabytes. Blu-ray rips, 700 to 7,000, etc., etc. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off, I don't want screeners. I don't want any of these at all, actually. I'm fine with these. My default quality is set to 720p. So that means that when Couchpotato is searching, if it finds a movie that matches the 720p profile and the 720p size, then it will download it. If it doesn't, then it'll look for additional sizes. And the way that the 720p profile is by default set up, I actually want to change the quality sizes because I'm okay with movies that are a little bit smaller and are 720p. Well, first, let me just save this change that we made here, and we're going to go right back into quality. You also have the option on your own to create a new quality profile. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to call this one HD default. And I'll explain the weight in a moment. Qualities that we want to search for. So we're going to accept 720p. We're going to accept 1080. We're going to accept Blu-ray rip, DVD-R, and DVD rip. And what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to see where it says finish. It won't download anything else if it's found this quality. Well, what I'm going to say is don't finish for DVD rip and DVD-R. And what that means is if Couchpotato goes out and finds a DVD rip of a particular movie, it will download it and it'll be available for you to view. But it will continue to search and see whether it can find a better quality version. And if it does, then it will download the better quality version. So, how many days do you want to wait for better quality? And that, again, is if it finds a DVD rip that qualifies, do you want it to keep looking? And how many times do you want it to keep looking before it eventually downloads? So what I'm going to say is wait 1 day for better quality. All right, I'm going to save that. Save. Back into quality. I'm going to change my default movie download to HD default. And then I'm going to tweak my 720 sizes a little bit. All right, I'm okay with 1.5 gig movie. And it can go all the way up to 10 gig. That's fine. And what this is going to do is going to allow me to get a little bit lower quality 720p movies, which again I'm okay with, and it'll actually match quite a larger number of movies. And for my environment, 1500 or 1.5 gig 720p is perfectly acceptable viewing from my perspective. You can obviously change and customize that however you want. Okay, now we're going to do renaming. So we're on the renaming tab. We're going to enable that. Where are the actual movies downloaded to? So just to remind you, we're going to go to Library, Downloads, Complete, Movies. And if I click up here, you'll see the path. It's C Library Downloads Complete Movies. That's where we've told SAB to put category movie downloads. And that's where we're going to tell Couchpotato to look to find them. And now, where should the movies be moved to? And you never want this to be the same place because it'll just get stuck in a loop. So the destination for movies is back into Library and Movies. Simple as that. So for our setup, it's C Library Movies. And we'll go ahead and paste that in. And then folder naming. Do we want, you'll see as an example here, the Big Lebowski, the folder will be Big Lebowski, comma, the 1998. And I actually don't want the. So I just want name and year. And that'll give me the actual name of the movie and the year as the folder. And then the file itself will be the name of the movie. If it's in multiple discs, it'll have a CD1 on it, and then whatever the extension is. I'm actually going to change that a little bit, and I want to show you what, again, this is now personal preference. This is what I like to do. So I already have the year in the folder, so I know that the movie is 1998. What I'd like to add here is the quality. So I'm going to add quality. And then I would like the video and the audio. And what will happen now is I'll get the Big Lebowski, CD1, CD2, whatever, 720p, X264, DTS, dot, and the name of the actual extension. And that works for me. Again, this is entirely up to you. You can choose this any way you wish. If you want to do something after the movie has been, renamed, etc., you can have a post-processing script. Point yourself relative to the Couchpotato install folder, so relative to C program files x86 Couchpotato in this case, and point yourself at the file that you want to run. Maybe you want to do something specific when things download. What do you want to use as the name separator? I actually like dashes. And Do you want to remove leftover files and folders in the download folder? And we definitely do, so go ahead and clean up. We're going to say yes to that. Okay, I'm going to save this change, and then I just want to come back and show you the result of what we typed in. We'll get the Big Lebowski CD1 1080p x264 dts.mkv. That's an example of the name of the file. Again, it's entirely up to you what you'd like the file to be named. That's my preference, so that's what we're going to use. Okay, now we'll go to the Extras tab. There's all sorts of things we can do here. I'm actually not going to use the top two. I'm going to start with subtitles and trailers. Download trailer, I actually like them in 720p, and I want it to be the movie trailer, file name -trailer.extension. That's what I like. Subtitles, yes. I want them in English. Again, your language would be appropriate to put here. And I want it to say the name of the movie .extension, so it'll be .srt most likely. I don't need the actual language in the name, so I'm not going to use that. You may, and do so at your own leisure, obviously. And then we're going to use Imdb Watchlist, and I'm going to show you how to set that up, but we're going to do that in a minute. Let me just finish the rest of the Couchpotato piece here. So we're going to save the changes that we just made. Notifications. You can send an update library command to XBMC, and we may set that up later on. We haven't set it up yet, so we're going to leave that alone. And there are a lot of other choices here for notifications, and I'm not going to set them all up. But if you use Growl on your system, go ahead and enable that if you want to. Send to your Android machine, Android phone usually, Twitter, however you wish to, change notifications. When a movie gets downloaded, you can set it up on this page. We're not going to set anything up in this video, though. User script, if you're using Google Chrome or Grease Monkey with Firefox, and you want the option to, you're looking at, an NZB and you want to add it to Couchpotato, you'll have an option with this user script. If that's something that you want to do and you want to add movies to Couchpotato that way, go ahead and set it up. I'm not doing that myself. And then if you want, you can put an app on a jailbroken iPhone, and that's what this page is telling you about here. Okay. We're going to go back now to the beginning. We're going to go to the wanted page, and we're going to put in a movie name and do a basic search. I just want you to I want to show you how Couchpotato works by default. Let's just pick a movie that'll be popular that's kind of benign. We'll say Cars, and we'll click Add. So Couchpotato will now go out and try and find the movie. It found it, and if you click the drop down, it found a whole bunch of different things with the word Cars in the movie title. The one that we want in this case is Cars 2006. So we'll just say Add, and that will now get added to the Couchpotato queue. And the next check is in 23 hours and 45 minutes. I'm actually going to do a force check right now. And it's off in searching, and we can dig in the logs and see what's going on. But what we're going to do now is go back to the configuration and go to Extras, and we're going to scroll down to the Imdb Watchlist. We're going to enable that, and I'm going to show you now what to do in order to make this work. So let's flip over to the IMDb page, website, and you just create an account here. Create a free account. Once you've created an account, you'll get an email. You click on the email to verify it, and you can do all kinds of stuff with it. Now you can have a watch list. And the way you do, the way you add movies to a watch list, let's just say that you click on Coming Soon or Top Movies, whichever one you pick. And it will show you all different movies. Oh, I clicked the wrong view. Hang on a second. Let me do Coming Soon just for the discussion. And you see, once you're looking at movies at IMDb, you can click this button that says Add to Watch List. By the way, if you're paying attention in the top left corner, Sab is downloading something, and I can guarantee you that it's coming from Couchpotato. So here, it's actually downloading Cars in 720p. It's 5.2 gigs. It'll be done in about 19 minutes or so. And if we go over to Couchpotato, if we were to go back to Wanted and refresh, you'll see that it's now listed as snatched. So clearly it's working just the way we want. I'm going to go scroll back down to IMDb here. Okay, I actually have a movie on my watch list, so I'm going to click on my watch list. And I have X-Men First Class. All right. First thing that you want to do with your watch list on IMDb, you want to edit it because it's currently listed private, and that's not going to work for what we're trying to do. So edit list, and then change list settings, and then make it public. I don't really need any comments. I don't need email. And hit close. And now your list, when you hit done, will change. And instead of being private, it'll be public. List is public. And we now get this option. Export this list. Now, we don't want to click this because it'll actually just export as like a CSV file and open in Excel. What we want to do is right-click on it and select Copy Link Address. And we go back to Couchpotato, enable IMDb Watchlists, and we're going to right-click and paste. And we get this export URL. If I then save that change, go back to Wanted, and again, it's set for 24 hours right now, so I'm going to force check. When I do a force check, it will actually read the IMDb watch list and add that movie to the Couchpotato Wanted section, and then go off and try and find the movie and set it up for download. Okay, and I waited a little bit here, and it took a little time for it to cycle through, but it has read the IMDb watch list, and it's added X-Men First Class to Wanted. And if I continue looking at this and updating, it may eventually flip X-Men First Class down to snatched once it finds, an NZB out there and sends it to SAB. Okay, I'm going to pause here, and I'll pick up once SAB has downloaded, and we'll look at the post-processing, make sure it's working right. Be back in a second. Okay, Cars is just about to finish downloading in SAB. I just wanted to show you that it did eventually snatch X-Men First Class, send it to SAB. I have it paused because I want to just finish this video, and I really don't want to download that movie again. I already have it. We'll just update ourselves here. All right, 8 seconds left for the download to finish. And then 2, boom. Now SAB's doing the rest of the pieces of work that it needs to do, and then we'll get Couchpotato to go look in the directory and see that it's complete, and it will do its post-processing. So SAB's about a third of the way finished here. And Couchpotato, you know what, while we're here, let's just check for a new version. I don't know if there's a new one since I've downloaded this or not, so we'll run that. And apparently there's not. We have the latest version. Great. Go back and look in at SAB. Getting closer. Okay, SAB is completed in downloading and processing. If we come over here and look, we'll see in the incoming directory there's a placeholder for X-Men First Class. Like I said, I have it paused. And in the complete folder, under Movies, there's now a Cars, whoop, and that just disappeared. So it's already been picked up by Couchpotato. But it was sitting in this directory, and now if we go over to Library, Movies, that shouldn't say name. I think I might have made a mistake with the settings, and that's why we test. So let's go see if we can figure that out real quick. Go into Couchpotato, into Settings, Renaming. Let me just look at the options here. Ah, see? I typed name, and I want it to be the name, and it was named the. So I should have caught that because the file name actually has it right. That's my mistake. Don't do what I did. Alright, let me save that, and we should be all set. I'll change the name of that folder and make it look correct, and we're done. Okay, next video will be headphones, and until then, good luck.